All right, so number one, let me first start off by saying shout out to everybody who tapped in with me at SneakerCon Denver. That was last week, Saturday. I had a blast with everybody who subbed up to the channel, everybody who showed your boys some love. I was on a mission, so I was on a mission with SneakerCon Denver. Now, let me start by telling you, all right, number one with SneakerCon Denver, number one, I think Fort Lauderdale, SneakerCon Fort Lauderdale was a little bit better than SneakerCon Denver. But the reason behind that was just because of the variety of shoes that we had. SneakerCon Fort Lauderdale, I want to say was in January of this year of 2025. I want to say it was January. Don't remember the date. However, they just had a wider variety of kicks. So it's not like SneakerCon Denver was bad. You just saw a plethora. Now, and I'm talking about you saw like an abundance of like certain kicks. I'm talking about overabundance of the SB4 navies. You saw an abundance of the black metallic Air Jordan 5 metallics. You saw an abundance of flu games. You've seen an abundance of the Travis Scott Low, Velvet Brown. What else was there in abundance of? I mean, just like a lot of. There's some I'm missing, but there were like in abundance. Oh, the Air Jordan 4 brick by bricks. I mean, just a ton of them, right? And then you see like a few unions, and then you have these right here. All right, so the box reads Air Jordan 4 high 85. These are the 85 high Breds. You see my box there is looking a little beat up, but this is one of my finds I was able to get at SneakerCon Denver. So let's dig into these kicks. All right, so we have that black box with the red lettering on it. Everything is perfectly fine. These come actually not necessarily individually wrapped, but let's take a look at this shoe here. Now, there's something a little bit special about these because they actually had redesigned these. Shout out to my guy Purple Haze because he actually sent us a video kind of discussing this shoe, and he was talking to one of the Sandy Bros. One of the Sandy Bros is the same name that's on the receipt of the Lost and Founds, the receipt that's in there. So he was talking to one of the Sandy brothers, and he kind of went to like some detail behind like the construction, or say the reconstruction of this particular shoe. We have that classic Bred colorway, and let me start by just kind of touching the materials here and letting you know that the materials actually feels pretty good on this shoe. Now, it does have that stiffer leather, and with that stiffer leather, it does take a little bit of a break-in period. But truth be told, even though, and myself included because I'm guilty of it, even though we like that nice soft tumbled leather, like that shattered backboard quality, because it feels real nice and buttery and soft to the touch, this leather is actually a better quality leather. Now, let me deliver the hard blow to you real quick. Yes, at SneakerCon Denver, your boy went ahead and picked these up for $500. Yes, that happened. However, in order to cushion the blow a little bit, I'm going to tell y'all, I went ahead and bought some shoes with me to SneakerCon and sold them. So I was still up. I was definitely up. I did get rid of my Travis Scott Black Phantoms, and that definitely, covered the cost of this shoe, right? So, and I got those for retail. It was a size 7. But just to kind of let you know, yes, I did not cop these retail. We have the double laces in there, right? Comes with the black and red laces. You can keep both laces in or pick your poison. Me personally, I like the way the white looks in there. But we also have this card right here, right? We got the traditional Jordan card, and we have a reconstructed shoe here right on that ankle collar. You gotta show love to that Wings logo. Yeah, I haven't done that in a while, right? Look at that Wings logo on there. Taking a look on the inside, if we just take a look at them guts, you see that we have that white sock liner there with the red and white Nike Air on the inside, along with the size tag right there on that inside ankle collar. Now, with the high 85, the 85 high cut, we also get this midsole. You see we have a different mold there right on that bottom. So just take a look at that mold. And that mold and the cut is what separates, this from just a regular Air Jordan 1 high. There is a difference in the cut, hence why I said, now, some people actually don't like the high 85 high cut. Maybe it's a preference thing. For me, it doesn't really matter. It all fits true to size. Let's take a look at that tongue. Here on this pair, we have a black tongue, and you see that black tag, Nike Air on the top there. And on the bottom, you see that outsole. Overall, I mean, this for me personally would be considered a grail. I mean, it is what it is. I didn't necessarily like how Nike did the release on these. For my personal opinion on them, y'all let me know in the comment section on what you think. But me personally, they made these sneakers like an extremely limited limited pairs as far as stock on these. And I think they did a very, very, very dope release. I mean, they kind of they rolled out the red carpet with the treatment of those people that were able to take advantage of that treatment, and that rolling of the red carpet and right around in the Rolls Royce. I think they had two different vehicles. Y'all let me know what the other one was. But I mean, like, they did some great marketing with the whole band, marketing the whole 9 yards. The only part that I didn't like about it personally was the fact that it was kind of like you can't get it, So they did a great job pushing and marketing this shoe, just to kind of throw it in your face and say you're not going to be able to cop it unless you go aftermarket, which is what I had to do. I had these shoes verified at SneakerCon, so as I'm talking, you'll be able to see the verification process, going over there. I had them authenticated, which I didn't necessarily have any issues with them, but it's always cool to look at homegirl kind of do her thing or whatever. I was talking to her over at SneakerCon Fort Lauderdale as well. But let me know, do you like an 85 cut? Did you cop these kicks? They did not have an abundance of these at SneakerCon Denver. I got there when it first opened. I didn't stay all day because I had some other things to do last week Saturday. However, I will tell you, in the building, they probably had about 6 pairs of these, and they only had one in the size 12. Now, because of this cut, we do have a narrower toe box than usual. I'm gonna have to break these in. I will get them on foot, and I will break them in. Technically, I really should have sized up to a 12.5 or 13. 13 has been my thing, and it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I'm happy I was able to cop these. I was able to practically get them for free because of the profit that I made on other sneakers, and there's really no complaints on them. Tap that like button. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for everybody who's always tapping into the videos, and I will catch you on the next one.